It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Folks, the topic of today's show, it's called The Complete and Honest Facts About Obamacare. My guest today, from the 11th United States Congressional District, no stranger to us here on SSP TV, Congressman Lou Barletta. Well, Lou, I'm going to get right into it. Okay, I'm sure there are so many things happening today that people are just like, some of them are in awe. Some of them still believe some things that are being said. But Obamacare, from what I understand, 5 million policies have been canceled. There are probably, when the employer mandate kicks in, there'll be tens of millions of people who will be losing their insurance. Let's go back to things that when Dr. Greco was on the show with you and we were talking about Obamacare. There was fair warning, okay, and the Democrats, okay, who backed Obama, correct me if I'm wrong, said if you like your insurance, your plan, you can keep it. If you like your doctor, you can keep it, and it's going to lower cost, okay? The Democrats, Congressman Cartwright, Senator Casey, all agreed that it was going to take place, okay? I haven't heard anything from Cartwright saying that he is upset about the fact that it has not happened. I have not heard anything from Senator Casey indicating that it has not happened, but I'm certainly going to try to get him on the show. Give me a review of what's happening, what he said and what actually is taking place.
Well, actually, the president, in selling this to the American people, said flat out over 40 times that if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. If you like your doctor, you can keep it. Knowing, and NBC was the one that discovered the fact that the president knew that people were going to lose their health care plan. There were people who were going to be dropped from their health insurance. So far, over 5.5 million people have lost their health care, have been dropped from their insurance. In Pennsylvania, over 250,000 Pennsylvanians have lost their health care today. And it is estimated that when the employer mandate kicks in, Sam, 80 million Americans will lose their health care.
See, the funny thing is, when the Republicans were discussing that people were going to lose their policies, no one believed them. Now there's 5 million that have lost their policies so far. But the president went up to Boston, I think, during this website fiasco, and he mentioned about a party that went on their website and got insurance. And it was great that they got them because both of them, the family is happy. They were able to get insurance they couldn't get before. And he did this at a presentation when he was up there. So are there any good things happening with this? Well,
I haven't heard too many good stories. I mean, when you weigh the law versus the people, ask 5 million people who don't have health insurance. I received over 94 emails from people telling me that they've either lost their health care or how their premiums have doubled and gone up. Sam, we haven't even gone into the meat of Obamacare yet. We're just talking about the rollout. After spending over $500 million on a website that they worked on for 3 years, the American people can't even get on to sign up. And if you are fortunate enough to get through and have to deal with one of the navigators that were hired, I'm going to tell you there's a security risk. I have until December 15th to sign up on Obamacare, and I'm very reluctant to give my information. I'm going to wait as long as I can personally because there were no background checks done on the navigators, so convicted felons could actually be hired as navigators where you're giving your security information, your private information. So the chances of identity theft are great. There's still a lot of problems with even the rollout of the website, not to mention that you can't even pay. Many people can't even pay. If you are fortunate enough to get on and pick a plan, the website won't allow you to pay. Now, I was in business before I was mayor, and if I was going to sell a product on the internet, Sam, if I would make sure that one thing worked. It would be that you can pay for the product you're trying to sell. That doesn't even work. This has been a train wreck. I have said all along that I believe it will collapse under its own weight, that it will not survive, and I still believe that.
Now, let's go back to that, because when you come on the show, it seems that, you know, I get a lot of emails and, you know, ask Lou this, you know, what about that? You know, it seems that I was interviewing a mayor, and he is a Democrat, and I love the guy, he's a great guy. And I asked him, I said, you know, when you look at the Democrat platform as to what it stands for, and he's a staunch Catholic, his brother's a priest. He has two sisters that are nuns, and he's a good man. Okay, and when you look at the Democrat platform, and he said something about he feels the Democrats are for the poor people, the Republicans are for the rich people. Now, my mother, God rest her soul, felt that way too. At 87 years old, she became a Republican. She switched to become a Republican because she didn't like what was going on with the Democrat platform, the abortions and all that stuff. But going back, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes people feel, Lou, that the Republicans don't care about those poor people out there. They don't care about the working class. They don't want them to get health insurance. They want to see people, you know, you don't want to see people get food stamps. You know, you guys are all for the rich.
Well, you know, I just had this discussion at Shippensburg University with a young man, a young college student there, and we had the same talk. And I said, you know, the perception that the Republican Party doesn't care about the working man is actually, you know, it's really such a misrepresentation of what the Republican Party stands for. And sometimes it's by their own fault, because sometimes the Republican Party will talk to the businesses, and the people believe that Republicans are for business, when the principles of the Republican Party, besides smaller government, less taxes, is the fact that to create jobs, it's businesses that will create the jobs. And what we need to do as Republicans is talk to the working man and woman and let them and understand that I don't want to keep you in the state that you're in. Look at the Democrat Party, for example. Look at many in the African American population in America. Over 50% are still not graduating. That's not good. That's not good enough. We need to provide education so that people can get a better job, so they can get a job and earn more money. How do you do that? We have to be able to help businesses to help people. We have to be able to lift people up from the status they're in, not keep them there with government programs that put a ceiling on what people can earn. And that's really, Sam, it's a sad state when the government really freezes people in the situation they're in, rather than go in and let's try to help them get out of that so they don't need the government programs. They don't need food stamps. They won't need that assistance because they're able to earn a good living on their own and provide for their children, provide a better life than they've ever been able to provide by the government just feeding them. And that's where we need to get to, is really get down to talking to the working man and woman and explain to them that we want to better their life so that they have a better opportunity.
Staying on that line, Lou, okay, and so what I hear, okay, also is, what the hell is Barletta doing down there then? I mean, what are they doing? They talk a good game, you know, they're all saying we want to get more jobs, so, but what are you doing? Now, I know what you try to do for Obamacare. You voted against it 40 times,
45 times.
To fund it, and which was probably, as people are beginning to realize, that you said it will implode by itself, and unfortunately a lot of people get hurt. But what are the Republicans doing down there to give more jobs, to do this stuff? And we're not seeing it.
Well, we passed over 30 jobs bills, 35 jobs bills that went to the Senate that Harry Reid did not even bring up for a vote. It's hard for me to answer for him. Why? Maybe because it was a Republican House that sent them to the Senate, and this partisanship has got to end, Sam. This partisanship where people in Washington wake up in the morning and their goal is how can we make the other side look bad?
Yeah.
And the people who are suffering are the American people.
When we come after break, I want to talk about that. Is the fact that is this power so much okay, that it's really affecting a lot of people. And, you know, it's not a Democrat-Republican thing, but the thing is that what I'm concerned about is our seniors, particularly people who are 76 years or older, okay? And then if he so-called, as now the broadcast station is saying he lied, the President of the United States lied when he said you can keep this, okay. In that Obamacare thing is something about these panels. And folks, remember about the panels. These were they call them the death panels. He said they're not death panels, but he also said you can keep your own, your own insurance company and your own doctor, etc. I'm a little nervous about that. I want to get Lou's opinion on that. Also, what about the decoys that are happening, immigration and everything that's happening now? Where are we going with that? Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 247ssptv.com, or my email is sam@ssptv.com. Now, folks, when you send me emails, I love them, and I always reply. But I have a couple wackos out there that love to just play games with me. One guy's Tom Minio, or whatever his name is. He keeps on playing games with me. Probably doesn't understand when you listen to a show, listen to it from A to Z, not only what you think you want to listen to. But however, I'm saying that because sometimes I'd be more than happy to respond to emails as long as they're, factual. Staying with that, I have Congressman Lou Barletta on the show today talking about the complete and honest facts about Obamacare. Before I hope I could get into this Iran situation, because here again, there's and I think now the liberal press is starting to get a little egg on their face. Even though they hate to say this, they have to start calling him on a lot of things, okay? And they're calling him now. But he also mentioned, Dr. Greco mentioned in the bill, and you mentioned too, Lou, about these panels. And what are these panels?
IPAB. It's called an IPAB board. It's an independent panel. And basically, it's what it is, Sammy. It's 15 bureaucrats who are not elected, who will be making decisions on your healthcare decisions, on procedures and what you can and can't have, and what doctors will be paid. And basically, it's 15, as I said, bureaucrats who will make a decision. Their decision is non-reviewable. You have no, if you disagree, you're just out of luck.
That's scary.
It's very scary.
You know, it's scary because, again, as these people who got this sticker shock, okay, like this one of the emails you read to me, they get this sticker shock. This person in San Diego who was said, I laughed at Boehner, I laughed at the Republicans until I got my insurance bill. And she said, I'm all for helping people, but I didn't know how to pay for it, and it wasn't what she wanted anyway. So she's in uproar. Her whole family was a strong Obama supporter. And believed in what he was saying, okay? Where are we heading in this country? I mean, senior citizens are the dependents of people who are supposed to be helping them, Lou, okay? Now there are seniors out there, and I'll never forget the lady who said, I didn't vote for Romney because he's a millionaire. I mean, I feel sorry for that lady, I really do, because she's going to be faced with some serious problems right now. She's probably 76 right now, and what happens is they can determine whether you're going to get an operation or not. They're going to determine if you're 76, and it's going to be sad.
And Sam, the doctor reimbursement, what you're going to see is they're cutting the doctor reimbursement, and you're going to see many physicians just stop their practice, or they won't see Medicare patients, which is not going to be a better delivery of health care in America. We're tearing down, the greatest healthcare system in the world. World leaders come to the United States for their health care. And look what's happening.
Why though? The question is, if we have such a
great... It's a redistribution. This president has been very clear about, redistribution of wealth, taking from one to give to another. And we talked a little bit about it tonight, Sam. You cannot lift people out of the cellar, out of the basement, by throwing rocks at people on the top floor. That's not how you lift people up.
What you see there, okay, in Washington, and I've been following, has Congressman Cartwright been still supportive of Obamacare, even the fact that we've had these disasters?
I believe he is. I believe he's still
I mean, because his district is really a 50-plus district. His district is really seniors and people who are out there working. Is he supporting Obamacare even though it's going down the tubes?
He does. He has said, he's still supporting it, and hopes that they'll be able to.
How about Casey? Is he a strong supporter of Obama?
I haven't had an opportunity to.
So you guys don't get together caucuses?
No, not so much with the Senate.
Immigration. Okay, we're hearing, I listen to O'Reilly and I listen to Fox and I listen to CNN, and it's amazing what you listen to and you hear them how, when you have a Democrat strategist on, boy, I'll tell you I got to tell you something, Lou. If I ever ran for president of the United States, I would want to have who Obama has as his public relations people, because I think they are the biggest spinners in the world. I mean, it's amazing how you can look at this paper and say, folks, this is white, and they'll tell you, yes, but you know what? It's really gray. And I'll tell you why it's really gray. You probably see that every day.
Well, we do. And, for a good portion, Sam, the mainstream media has been really helping the president and not calling him out and not holding his feet to the fire. When a president tells you something, I really believe that the media does have an obligation to make sure that the American people are hearing what is the truth, and unfortunately, 5 million Americans, 5.5 million Americans have found out that the president didn't tell the truth when he said, and in selling this, and remember, Sam, there was not one Republican in Congress that voted for Obamacare. This was passed solely by one party, and anytime that happens, that we have never had a piece of major legislation in the history of our country ever passed by just one party. There has always been bipartisan support for major legislation like this. He sold it by saying that, listen, if you like what you have, don't worry. This won't affect you. You can keep it, and we now know that's not true.
There is a plan that one of your fellow congressmen presented, a Republican, a health care plan. What is what?
Sure. Actually, there's two plans that the Republican Party is working on. One is basically will give you a tax credit to cover catastrophic premiums. Actually, would cover your premium for catastrophic illness with a tax credit. So basically, everyone in America can have catastrophic coverage that will be covered through a tax credit to cover the premium, which is, something that I'm sure we're going to look at, as well as another plan that we talk about a lot, but we've yet to try here is and allow competition to drive down the price. If we want health insurance that's more affordable, let competition take hold. Let people shop around state to state, cross state lines, allow small businesses to pull together, because most small businesses, Sam, would like to offer health insurance because you're going to keep your employees or you're going to get a better employee. You want to give a benefit. Allow small businesses to join together so that they can go out and shop and get the same rates that big companies get. Allow health savings plans. There's many ideas that we have. Create these high-risk pools so that people with pre-existing conditions can get health insurance. Allow our young adults up to the age of 26 stay on their parents' plan. People like it. Democrats and Republicans agree. We can do this.
So the Republicans are for pre-existing conditions. They are for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, I think the impression is that again, yeah. And when you talk about bipartisan, when you run for office, I mean, the last time you ran, I mean, you have a lot of Democrats who vote for you. Okay. I mean, as well as Republicans. So it's not like a strict Democrat-Republican thing. Which again, is it? You looked at. Let's go to another issue. I know I want to talk about immigration, but let's talk about the Iranian deal. Okay, what is your opinion about the Iranian deal?
Well, Sam, you ever hear the story about the turtle and the scorpion?
Yeah. Well, tell me about it.
Well, the scorpion wants to get across the pond but can't swim, so he asks the turtle if he can hop on his back.
Yeah.
And will the turtle, give him a swim across the pond to bring the scorpion to the other side? The turtle says, "No, you're a scorpion. You'll bite me and I'll die." And the scorpion said, "Why would I do that? If I bit you, we would both die because I would be on your back." And so the turtle said, "Okay, I trust you." And the scorpion gets on the turtle's back. They get halfway across the pond. The scorpion bites the turtle in the neck. And right before the turtle dies, he said, why did you do that? And he said, because I'm a scorpion. And that's what scorpions do. And they both die. I do not trust Iran. What we were doing with Iran, obviously, was working. It brought them to the table. To allow Iran to move forward at all and eventually develop a nuclear bomb would be disastrous for the world, not only for Israel, but for the world. And, I don't trust them, to be honest with you, and so I'm very leery about making a deal where, we're going to revisit this 6 months down the road, that they won't enrich uranium. They're not close enough yet to do that. So, I think this was a good deal for Iran. And again, I'm going to look at the details of this, but I do not trust them, and I'm very leery about this.
Well, Secretary of State Kerry said that it is a good deal and that we're going to be watching them, and they're going to be, and so...
And the Iranians said it's a great deal for them.
Yeah, well, of course.
And there is also a disagreement about what's in the agreement already between what's set.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, we didn't agree. Someone says we agreed to this and they didn't agree to that. Well, maybe it was they were tired. It was like early in the morning. I'm talking to Congressman Lou Barletta, folks. We come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the immigration situation, and beware, folks. What are we going to do about this Obamacare situation, particularly when the panels kick in January? Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember SSPTV.com. My email is sam@ssptv.com. My guest today, Congressman Lou Barletta from the United States 11th Congressional District. How is this Obamacare going to impact on the colleges? Students will suffer and
Sure. I'm on Education and Workforce Committee, and we had a hearing where college administrators and university administrators were there and said that it is going to affect tuition, it's going to affect education because of the Obamacare and the cost that they'll be providing health care insurance, and the 30-hour rule, Sam, where if you work more than 30 hours, then you have to provide health insurance. Many of the universities, what they're going to do is cut back the hours of their adjunct professors. Many of these professors teach, and many times, some of the night courses that are non-traditional students who are trying to redirect their careers, or single parents are taking these courses at night. Those courses won't be available. They may not be available because universities are going to have to cut down on their personnel, and it's those adjunct professors that will be affected the most. So they talked about how it's going to affect tuition, and it's going to affect the quality of education that many of these colleges are going to be giving.
Illegal immigrants, okay? Illegal, not legal, but illegal. It seems today illegal in the immigrants makes people think it's legal, but it's illegal, okay? How are they going to have access to Obamacare?
Well,
illegal immigrants.
I'm also on Homeland Security, and my crusade against the illegal immigration problem in America. We discussed Obamacare. On Homeland Security, and the fact that there is a security risk because of the lack of background checks on the people who are taking the information. But what came up in the hearing was amazing to me. During my questioning, I found out that if, in fact, a person who is in the country illegally accesses Obamacare through the website and talks to someone to try to sign up, and during that process they find out that person is in the country illegally, I asked if there will be any enforcement now that an illegal immigrant has tried to access Obamacare, and you have found out that person's in the country illegally. What do you do with the information that you have on the person? And the answer was nothing. So even if they encounter a person in the country illegally and they have their information because they were trying to access Obamacare, they will do nothing with the information, which makes it hard for me to believe that when this administration talks about amnesty for 11 or 20 million people who are here, that they will do background checks to make sure that terrorists, gang members, criminals won't be able to be given amnesty to be able to take care of to have all the benefits that immigrants and Americans have.
As of November 26th, the president's approval rating has probably been the lowest they've ever been. From what I heard, November 26th. Now, I don't know after that what's happening. And primarily, the American people were concerned about him lying to them. Okay, how are Democrats in the Congress right now feeling about that?
Well, right now, what I saw just last week, many Democrats right now are literally, many are running for lifeboats because they realize in the next election, in 2014 election, Obamacare is going to be an issue, and again, it will affect many of these races for people who want to continue to back the president when the American people know that he has not told them the truth about keeping your health care. That's how they sold this law.
Yeah. The sad thing is, Lou, is and again, when you lie and the press they're forced now. I could just see ABC, CBS, and NBC and CBS. They're forced to bring this out. And and they're trying to sugarcoat as much as they can. I always appreciate you coming on the show,
Sam.
keeping us informed. I know you've been going all over the place. I really appreciate that. Wish you the best in Congress, as I always do. I pray for the President of the United States every day. He's in my prayers, and I think we should all, because we need. It's very important.
I agree,
folks. Congressman Lou Barletta, no stranger to SSPTV.com. Remember, folks, you can watch this show anywhere in the world, and we want to say hi to all the people who are watching us in the Harrisburg area. I appreciate some of the nice emails you send, folks. Remember. My email is sam@ssptv.com. We'll see you next time.